Friday edition of Studio 12. Will Johnson with you. Matt Simon joins me later. Everybody is looking forward to a tilt tomorrow in Starkville, Davis Wade Stadium, the site. It's an early one. It's 11 a.m. Texas A&M is going to take on Mississippi State as we now roll into November, that all-important stretch run as far as the regular season goes, and you look forward to the postseason after that. But with the Aggies playing tomorrow, hitting the plane today to travel over to Columbus, Mississippi, actually. That's where the headquarters is, and they'll bus over to Starkville tomorrow early. We've got the Red Zone to start this edition. And, Connor, before I let you introduce your guest, Connor McQueen, always on the Red Zone with us here on Fridays. Tons of topics to dive into today.
Where to begin?
This could be a busy one.
It could be.
I mean,
we're going to have to pack it in tight here.
Yeah. It can't be long-winded today.
Right.
We've got to really dig in. But let's get your guest in. You've decided to go over to the defensive side of the ball and special teams today with this guest.
The honorary 12th man Cullen Gillaspia joins us here on the Red Zone. Gives a wave to the people in the crowd.
You realize he said honored.
Yeah,
guest, Cullen.
I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Well, I don't know where to begin because you can go back to Tuesday press conference. You win all presidential election with it with the quarterbacks.
Right.
We're coming off Halloween. I know that's big with you guys. And then let me start here though. Last game, New Mexico State. You guys get another win. Rolled a 7-1 on the year. And I look at our press release this week, coming off that game and going into Mississippi State, and I look at all the guys, and I'll bring you in here on this too, Cullen, because I want to get your take as more of a defensive player. I mean, you've got Travion Williams, he probably goes around 7 yards a carry. Trevor, I mean, he can carry it about 6 yards a carry. I mean, then you go all these guys. Keith Ford. I mean, when Christian Kirk gets his hands on the ball with a rush every now and then, he goes for about 6 or 7 a carry, although it's minimal. But 9 yards per carry is our leader on this team.
There's no one as good as him.
Yeah. Connor McQueen, 9 yards per carry. And the way he just closed out that New Mexico State game with authority, I mean, you wouldn't want to tackle this guy now, would you?
No, I would have gone kind of the jump out of the way, maybe throw a foot at him. I wouldn't have gotten his way. He was not going to be denied those 9 yards.
Not at all. I mean, you weren't gonna hand that thing off?
There's no shot. There's no shot. And I'm honestly a little aggravated that I didn't just decide to run the first play that I was in as well.
Yeah, because I think Coach Mazzoni mentioned
he did.
that.
He did. And, I told him afterwards, after we watched the film, I said I probably could have gone my whole life without knowing that I missed that read, because if I made that read correctly, I probably would have run until I got to the north end zone, and I may just not have stopped.
So you would have just preferred he said nothing.
Yeah.
Just leave it to be. But, hey, look, you take the next play, you go for 9 yards, and now you're number one on the team in yards per carry. So you got that going for you.
I got that going for me. I actually added that to my resume this past Sunday. So
well, that resume, all these bullet points in an election year, now you're building one for that, I guess.
I guess so. that kind of spiraled out of nowhere, out of thin air. 45 seconds before we walked into the press conference, we decided, hey, they're going to ask, why are we wearing suits? So we need to have a reason, guys.
A late game plan.
Right. And so, if, maybe, hindsight, if we would have maybe planned that, it could have gone, we could have had some more humor in there, but I think it went pretty well, being that it was a complete improv situation.
Yeah, it was pretty good just being on the fly. I was thoroughly impressed.
Did you watch this as it unfolded or catch clips later?
I caught clips later on Twitter, and I was just like, I saw them dressed up in suits in the locker room, and I was a little confused. I was like, they're going to what are they dressed up in suits for? And I saw it on Twitter later, and I was like, all right, that makes sense.
And we used the term suits very loosely. It was business up top. We're ready to go to practice
More
on the bottom.
beach on bottom, something like that. But, Cullen, I mean, did you see him in suits and almost just give it a throwaway and say they're quarterbacks? It's a different breed of cat. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I knew something was up. We don't usually wear those to the press conferences. And I was like, they're about to go in there and take this very seriously, like pull Marshawn Lynch and be like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Or I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, that would have been great. You go in suits and you don't even answer questions.
Right.
That would be phenomenal. But we've got Connor McQueen and Cullen Gillaspia with us on the Red Zone. And, I think we still have trouble with the last name. Because I think you've told us 2 different ways to pronounce it. I still say Gillaspia.
I don't think he even knows.
But I know
I
you've
honestly
also
don't
mentioned
know.
Gillaspia.
So it's kind of just like an ongoing thing in our family. Me and my little brother and I, we say Gillaspia, but my mom and my dad both say Gillespie. His sister says Gillespie, but his brother says Gillaspia. It's spelled Gillaspia, but
There is an IA.
There is an A
There's
there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know where they think the Gillespie comes from. There's 100 Gillespies. There's not very many Gillespias, but
I can respect that.
Does Cullen just have a nickname that you guys call him anyway?
Gilly.
Gilly, okay.
There's Gilly.
Gilly.
yeah,
Well, and the 12th man.
Right.
Yeah.
that works.
12.
Yeah.
He just goes by 12 now.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's me, Sam Miller, not you.
A nod to the man that wore it more than anyone else here. But it just,
We're in a group message together, and it's like whenever they address us, it's like old 12 or new 12.
it's kind of like old Army, new Army
Right.
type thing. Yeah. But just wearing it for a year now, I mean, is it ever lost on you, the fact that you take the field with that number for the Aggies?
It's an incredible honor. Whenever Coach Banks called my name out that day, it was unbelievable. It's not something I took lightly. I've been working all off season with that goal in mind, and to be able to represent the 12th man up in the stands, it's unreal.
And is he? He's a worthy 12th man. 'Cause
Oh,
he's the
without
kind
a
of guy you guys rally around.
Without a doubt. And, we could just as teammates, you could see the kind of work that he's been putting in since he's been here and then throughout this past offseason especially, and that just the kind of energy and the attitude that he brings to that special teams group, and that he's that fiery leader, where if we need a play to be made, he's going to make that play and change the momentum of the game, and he's done it multiple times this year.
Mm-hmm. And we were talking to Coach Sumlin on Sunday after the New Mexico State game, and we asked about Seakirk's 2 punt returns for touchdowns, and it seemed like all year opponents at least would kick to the sidelines or boom it as high as possible, just never giving Seakirk a chance. Finally, he gets it, and he takes 2 to the house. But Coach Sumlin kind of mentioned that on the other side, punt coverage and things like that, I think they've started to notice Cullen. Are you almost seeing some double teams on special teams now when you run down, things like that?
It's punt a little bit, but on kickoff, it's been a little bit hectic. In the first weeks, I was running down unblocked or to have single blocks on me. Now I got people ambushing me and coming from all over the place. But I think it kind of makes Alex Caesar happy because he said in UCLA he was getting blocked by like 4 different people. Right, like it had just people coming from all over the field coming at him. So I think it's kind of it goes both ways. You take some heat off other players.
Yeah, Connor, you think the Tennessee game's got anything to do with that?
I will say I know the personal foul that they had on their sideline was because after he had made that initial hit where he forced the fumble, then after that they started double teaming him, and Cullen was a little winded, got kind of run off to their sideline, and then that's when they got their penalty because he was getting double teamed all the way to their bench. But I mean, it's a necessary evil when you start making plays like that. They have coaches too, and they're great coaches, and they're going to recognize that, and they're going to try to put their double teams on our players that are making plays, and like you said, that opens up opportunities for other guys.
No doubt. And you mentioned Cullen that you kind of getting a back and forth text wise with Sam, and we just talked about it. Sam wore that jersey more than anybody else. I mean, is this an advice type thing? Is it a trash talk type thing of the 212s there? Or?
It's a little bit of a trash talk.
Yeah.
He just always tells me that I'll never be as good as him, and how he was.
So it's not advice. It's just
not
a statement.
It's not advice.
Sam should stand in Sam's mind. He should still be here. He should just have it. yes, perpetual eligibility and forever wear that number.
Yeah, we had a guy here at 12th Man Productions, Buddy Kimberlin, one of our producers. His son, you jogged my memory here. His son went on Halloween as Ace Ventura, and you made me think of an Ace Ventura line where he's in that asylum. It's like he has trouble letting go of the game. These things like that.
Right.
Is this Sam? He just can't let it go. He's going to come rip that jersey from him.
Pride from my dad.
It's all good fun.
But Halloween just passed, and I know that's something always big. That the press conference thing didn't have anything to do with Halloween. It was past at that time. But any costumes of choice for you guys? Because, and first of all, you keep it safe out there. Everybody okay after Halloween?
Oh, yeah.
I know it can be a hectic night.
Oh, yeah. We take care of each other.
There you go. There you go. Cullen, what was the costume this
I
year?
was Garth from Wayne's World. I had my mom was here after the game, and she teased my hair out to about here and put about a pound of hairspray in it. So it was
I'll tell you, it was impressive.
Big night, a lot of chemical in there.
It was
There
impressive.
There you go. Well, I mean, that's fitting that he comes here today because Mazzoni thought this was a Wayne's World type garage show.
Right.
It's not like that. So.
Much he was surprised at that.
Yeah, he thought it was a phone-in,
Right.
first of all. But as kids, you know, when you used to go knock on the doors, tell everybody trick or treat, going back to those days, what were you? What was always the Halloween go-to? Was there, or I guess maybe you change it up every year too when you're young.
I bounced around a little bit between baseball player, football player. I was a ghost with a sheet a couple years.
Basic.
Right,
Pretty
very
basic.
basic. I thought that was really funny. That I think second grade I had a Frankenstein with just the whole green
Everything.
face paint deal with the screws in the neck. It was a real good one.
That labyrinth there.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But there was one year that my mom actually sent my sister and I this picture this week. So whenever my dad played here, he was number 14, and we have one of his old jerseys. And I got some old shoulder pads and a helmet, like just an old A&M helmet. And I was an A&M football player, and I was number 14. And my sister went as an A&M cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
And now you kind of fast forward, 15 years or so, and I'm wearing number 14 for A&M, and she's a part of the Texas A&M competitive cheer team. So
Right.
that was kind of a eye-opening moment when my mom sent me that. I was like, I kind of forgot about that. But
How about that?
yeah,
All works out, doesn't it?
yeah, that's impressive.
yeah, and now I'm not dressing up as that. I'm dressing up as a gingerbread man and walking in.
That's right.
Walking around the
I heard
football
about that, too.
walking around the football facility in a gingerbread costume and getting looks from people. And who is that? And
What was Mazzoni's reaction when he saw it?
oh, he just looked
And
up
can you
and
say it?
oh yeah, he just kind of just chuckled, said, "Hey, nice costume, man." But I think the funnier reaction was, being one of the older guys, the senior sitting in the very front of the team meeting, and we had a team meeting that day, and I'm sitting in the very front row, and Coach Sumlin strolls in, and he's got a lot of stuff on his mind. We're getting the week's prep going, and he starts talking for about 10 seconds and doesn't see me in the front row wearing a full body gingerbread costume. It's it fits well over my head, and then everyone just starts laughing because he just doesn't even see me, and then he just starts busting out laughing and said he loved it, and he thought about wearing a costume himself, but he decided not to.
Yeah, he loves Halloween.
Oh,
He's a big trick-or-treater. He won't divulge his costume because he don't want people to notice
Right.
him out there. But, yeah, he has said long ago that, all the way through high school he trick-or-treated. He's the one that takes his kids trick-or-treating now and all that stuff. But was anybody else dressed up in that meeting, or was it just this one gingerbread man in there?
It was a lone soul corner.
Which honestly made the joke just that much better because it's just everybody, everyone's dressed for practice. And I actually, everyone, taped, braced. I actually did get my ankles taped in the training room with the gingerbread costume on. So I was prepared for practice. I just didn't have any of my gear on. I just had the costume on.
Well, I envision the gingerbread men. They have the big head.
Oh, yeah.
Is this thing sticking
Oh, it
up
was-
and blocking
yeah.
people in the
Yeah, like it's got the eye holes through the mouth. So, if you imagine if the mouth's here, you got the whole thing way up over my head too.
Goodness gracious.
Complete distraction.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was a busy week.
Right.
You got gingerbread men, Halloween, presidential elections. Connor's leading the team, and we got the 12th man here as well. So, but as we look forward, this Mississippi State game, this is an early kick. It's a little different. You guys had an 11 a.m. when Prairie View came to town earlier this year, but this is a road game. You guys, I think people realize it by now. If you play in Starkville, Mississippi, you guys don't stay in Starkville. You kind of stay outside of town, bus on in. Any thoughts about that early kickoff and really getting to business early in the morning as opposed to getting any kind of wait before you hit the stadium and things like that?
I think waking up might be hard, but I think the minute we step into that stadium and we hear 60,000 cowbells, I think our ears will be ringing. I don't think it'll be too hard to get going after that.
Yeah, and I think that's what the coaches and our teammates really look to guys like Cullen and I, the kind of the high energy guys to get everybody going. So, some people aren't morning people, but we wake up fairly early on a regular basis with workouts and class and things like that. But I think they will kind of look to us to get the guys going. But we enjoy it because then we get to play the game, and then it gives us an opportunity to watch a little bit of college football later in the evening. But it's when it comes down to it, like Cullen said, whenever you step out on that field, it's game on, no matter what time of the day,
that's
what day of the week.
I always think about that
cowbells.
too. Yeah,
yeah,
they are like an alarm clock.
Yeah,
they'll ring in your ear when you hit the pregame.
Right.
It's time to go. But I agree with that on the 11 a.m. kicks. I've liked it too because if you can win it, you get to watch everybody else duke it out after that. And you've got your win in hand, and everybody else gets to go out and struggle for it the rest of the day. But I always asked about pregame meals or thought about them because I haven't looked at the agenda yet that you guys, and I don't know if you have either because you don't travel till you don't have to worry about pregame meal till tomorrow. But is it all breakfast for a pregame meal like this? Because I know some guys like to carb up before a game, and if you got to eat something like spaghetti, it might be a little hard to do at 7 in the morning and things like that. But are pregame meals all the same menu, or do you guys get an array of things depending on where you are and stuff like that?
There'll always be spaghetti.
It's always there.
You can always get spaghetti.
Is that your go-to?
No.
Okay.
We can talk about my go-to. I always get an omelet.
Okay.
And then
this bothers me.
And then
is omelet?
Yes.
It's kind
Not
of
the omelet
thing. So I walk
portion.
over to the table. I have an omelet, and they all know it's me, Connor, Trevor, Mac Labhart, Shore, Hubenak, and I grab the bottle of ketchup and I just cover it in ketchup, and they all just look at me like I'm crazy.
Can you see any egg, or is it like a ketchup dome?
It's kind of like it's a pretty array. I try to make it pretty. Like it looks
patterns.
good. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Why does his omelet bother
It's
you?
ridiculous. Like he says he grabs a bottle of ketchup. He grabs the bottle of ketchup that's on our table, and I have to go to the next table so I can actually have some ketchup to use because he's going to use the whole bottle every time, without a doubt. Use the whole thing. And then look at us like it's not an abnormal thing to do to just unscrew the lid of a ketchup bottle and just shake it all out on top of an omelet.
I'm a sauce guy. It's all right.
Etiquette, man. Etiquette.
Yeah.
You got to respect the guys at the table.
That goes out the window at pregame meal.
Well, do you switch it up for pregame meal? Even on a day like this where you might be eating it at around 7 in the morning?
I'm not sure. I'll probably have a little bit of breakfast, but I'll probably stick with the spaghetti as well because they'll have breakfast food and spaghetti since it's going to be a morning game. But I will say one of the more humorous things is, some guys are pretty entrenched in, their routine and everything. And we have pregame meal 4 hours before kick.
Okay, so probably 7.
Right.
Yeah.
Anywhere we go every week. And so I remember last year, Taylor Bertolette was one of those guys who's pretty superstitious. And so we have an 11 o'clock kick, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and he gets an entire plate, like a plate full, noodles all over the whole thing, spaghetti sauce, just a full plate of spaghetti and a side Caesar salad. And it's 7 in the morning, and I'm looking like this guy. And I just remember watching him and everyone laughing that, he's eating just, something that you typically eat at, 7 o'clock at night. And it's 7 in the morning, and he's just feasting on a nice big old plate of spaghetti.
But the thing to me there, though, is it's hard enough to eat spaghetti early in the morning. I'm not throwing a side salad in there with it at 7 in the morning.
No.
That's not going to work.
Like I'm saying, I'll have some eggs and some bacon and some sausage, maybe French toast, and just a side, just a little bit of spaghetti, just for tradition. But
there you go. There you go.
I got to get my breakfast food in the morning.
That's right. I'm with you. Well, guys, it's been fun to watch. Here we go into November, that all-important month that starts with Mississippi State, and nothing really goes past that. So all the best tomorrow against the Bulldogs. And, Connor, we'll see you back here next week. And, Cullen, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
All right.